Somebody asked me if I would do a brief video on the Revelation 12 sign, and I realized that that I hadn't really done an official video on the Revelation 12 sign for like years, and that I have a lot of new subscribers, and some of them may not have even heard of the Revelation 12 sign or know what it means. It says, "A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And she was with child, and she cried out, being in labor and in pain to give birth." Okay, that's the Revelation 12 sign. There is another sign called the sign of the dragon, or that's what I call the sign of the dragon, which continues in verse 3. But the Revelation 12 sign is the very first couple of verses there in Revelation 12. Okay, and what it gives us in that passage is actually an astronomical alignment. We're seeing the sun mentioned, the moon mentioned, 12 stars. We're not talking metaphorical stars here. In this case, stars aren't angels, stars are stars. And this is something that is happening in the starry heavens. So what is this that's happening here? Now, in almost every culture, including ancient cultures, everybody had constellations, okay, and they named the constellations on the ecliptic plane, and the sun is in one of these constellations. Every month or so, the position of the sun will change, and the sun will be in a certain constellation. Now, it just so happens that only one of the 12 constellations on the ecliptic plane is represented as a woman. And it's represented as a woman in almost every culture, okay? And it's the only woman. So there's a woman, and we know of this female constellation as being Virgo, but the Hebrew name is Betula, and it's a woman. Now, every September or so, the sun is in this constellation of Betula or Virgo. It means then that we're talking about a certain month that this happens. Well, that month is September. Okay, that's the month that the sun is in Virgo in this woman constellation. Right over what would be the head of Virgo is another constellation. It's the constellation of Leo. There are 9 main stars in the constellation Leo. This sign, though, mentions 12. Now, it just so happens that there were 3 wandering stars, the planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, that joined up with the 9 normal stars, visible stars of Leo, creating 12 stars, this garland or this crown above Virgo's head with 12 stars in it. And then it says that she was in agony. Okay, she was about to give birth. She was going to give birth to a child. So how would this child be depicted in the starry heavens? Well, in this case, it was the planet Jupiter, which was actually inside of the constellation of Virgo for 9 months. So that meant that Jupiter had to be in retrograde motion inside of Virgo for 9 months. This passage also says that there is the moon under her feet, or the crescent moon under her feet. So what we've got here is an astronomical alignment that happened in 2017. All the components for this astronomical alignment happened September 23rd of 2017. It was on the second day of the Feast of Trumpets. Okay, so now people will go, well, you couldn't see this sign. Okay, if the sun's in Virgo, you can't see it. Well, okay, here's the deal. Everybody knows the sun is in Virgo every September, okay? So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. And the moon is going to be beneath her feet, okay, or somewhere around that area. It isn't necessarily going to be under her feet, but it will be around that area, you know, every 12 months. What doesn't happen frequently is Jupiter being in Virgo. Okay, Jupiter is only in each of the constellations every 11 years. So it's only every 11 years that you'll see Jupiter in Virgo. Okay, but Jupiter happened to be in Virgo on that day. And not only that, Jupiter had been in retrograde motion for 9 months. So here's a picture I just downloaded off the internet. You can see where Virgo is, where Leo is in relation to Virgo, the 12 stars there, which included the 9 kind of usual normal visible stars of Leo, plus the 3 planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. According to people who study such things, this was a once in 7,000 year astronomical alignment. This does not happen every year. The full Revelation 12 sign has to include the woman being with child, which includes this 9 months of Jupiter in the quote-unquote womb of Virgo, and then the planet, the baby, exiting the constellation on the same day that the crescent moon is under her feet, after 9 months of gestation, with 12 visible stars in Leo. Okay, this has only ever happened once. There were similar alignments that happened. One may have happened about 7,000 years ago, right around the time of Adam, and then something similar to this, people say happened around the time when Christ was born. I don't know about that, but I do know that this particular alignment happened on Israel's 70th birthday. So the nation of Israel would celebrate its 70th birthday in the Hebrew year, which started in September of 2017. The Hebrew year starts in the fall, the civil year starts in the fall, and that year then will end the following fall. Well, it's during the course of that year that the UN resolution creating the state of Israel took place in November, and then the following May is when they declared their independence, and that was in 1948. But the Hebrew year started in 1947, went to 48, and the 70th anniversary of the Jews being back in their land, that year started in 2017. So even if this had happened in the past before, the fact that it happened on Israel's 70th birthday, this 70th year of the nation of Israel being in existence, I think is highly significant. So what does the Revelation sign tell us? Well, it doesn't tell us that there's a rapture. What it does is it gives us a point in time, an actual day, when we can actually place ourselves in the book of Revelation. We are in the book of Revelation right now. Okay, the Revelation 12 sign was a marker that pointed to a certain day that says, okay, this sign has happened. The next sign we're looking for is the sign of the dragon, and the rapture is a part of the sign of the dragon. If you want to know more about this, go to my Revelation chapter by chapter series and watch the very first video in that series. So till the next video, pray you'll have a very, very blessed day.